Alright, I've been banging out for a hot little minute, you know what I'm saying? Just grind it down, trying to create these Kanthal ingots or whatever, you know what I'm saying? The process is a little bit involved just to create the actual dust. So over here, mixing everything. No, this is for steel. This is for stainless steel. It's manganese and chromium, nickel, iron dust is in here, whatever. And I got all of these stacks or whatever. But the Kanthal is, where's the Kanthal at? Right here, chromium, aluminum, and iron. These two are easy to get. Chromium takes a little bit. Um, I think I got that from Ruby or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Purified and whatever. I just got chromium as a byproduct. You know what I'm saying? Washing it, whatever it was that I was doing to get it or whatever. But I had to basically augment the EBF. You know what I'm saying? All of this entire setup, just 32 solar panels. It's 32 redstone flux cells, so you know to hold the power or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Each one for every single solar panel. Uh, Two energy converters and two battery boxes. And then I put another energy converter in another battery box over here. This one is feeding into this one, and these two are feeding into this, which feeds it down into this down here. One feeds one, and then the other side feeds the other. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I had to do that is to make sure that this runs in a stable way without the coils blinking. Anytime it starts blinking and whatever, it means that it's running out of power. It's harder for it to process, and it's harder for it to get through its recipes. Like this number will start flickering back and forth, and the percentage will go down. But I have it stable enough to actually run it. The reason why I need to make these Kanthal ingots or whatever is that's the next tier of you see how this says Cooper nickel coil block, so the next coil block is actually Kanthal, and that makes the EBF cheaper to run, more efficient, and a little bit faster, and goes in tiers. There's a couple different tiers to it. That's just the second tier. This is the first tier right here. So I need to get that going so I can process more stainless steel, because when I tried to process stainless steel, I ran across the same issue with everything flickering, everything moving super slowly. Hopefully that also allow me to process aluminum faster once I get the Kanthal coils. And that's really it. I don't think I did anything too major on the other island. I know I made a few more single block MV machines. Made a few more, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there's 3 over there, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have one more somewhere else. And then also made this this basic item buffer. This is what I was looking for before, like thermal expansion. Thermal expansion has one of these blocks or whatever, but this basically acts as like a pipe. It's like a pipe, but it's in block form, and you can hold multiple different types of items. That's the advantage over having a regular pipe. You could have multiple items inside the slots, and this is what I was actually looking for, to pipe certain items into certain blocks that require like multiple different ingredients, like maybe 4, 5, 6 different ingredients. You could pump it through here, and you could pump liquids in as well. You know what I'm saying? So I did eventually find it. You know what I'm saying? Because for whatever reason, it wasn't popping up. Every time I put buffer into the search bar over here, it wasn't popping up. But well, I didn't know there was a buffer for GregTech, but GregTech is so expansive as a mod that I figured it had to have a buffer in it, some kind of item buffer in there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I did and eventually find it. My chicken ended up dying. I don't know how it died. This is a replacement. I had to actually sit on the main platform or whatever and wait for him to actually spawn. It took a minute, you know what I'm saying? But um, I had that chicken forever. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a little partial to the chicken or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Ever since I set the system up, or whatever, that's been a hot little minute now. You know what I'm saying? And I opened up this barrel right here because I kept trying to figure out what happened to the chicken. I'm like, I'm flying around or whatever. Turn back around, like whatever happened to the chicken. You know what I'm saying? And I look at this barrel right here, and there's the whole chicken breast in here and some feathers, and it's cooked. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, yo. Like that was like almost. I was like, what's the name by that? That almost made me nauseous. I'm not even gonna lie. It almost made me nauseous because that's my little chicken buddy. Now he's all cooked up inside of a barrel with some feathers. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to figure out how he actually died, and it's the same reason why I have sections of my base that have holes in it. Because for the longest time I couldn't figure out where the holes were coming from. But the biome that I'm actually in, all up and down my base, is a beach, and for whatever reason, I get rain all the time, constantly. It rains all the time, constantly. And then the second thing, which I thought it could be, was the thunderstorms of why I was getting holes in the base, because the lightning strike the wood and set it on fire, and then it will go out. The rain will put it out, and that's why I have like holes, like in random places where there's actual wood brackets there throughout the entire base, and that's probably what happened to the chicken. You know what I'm saying? The chicken got struck by lightning. You know what I'm saying? He got killed, and then his body got cooked and picked up by the item collector and put into the barrel with his feathers. So that's what I think happened. So to mitigate that, I covered him up, put him in the second one inside a glass, and I named him because at first I couldn't figure it out, and I was thinking that it's because I don't have a name tag on him. So I went and made a name tag. Luckily, you can make name tags in this pack or whatever, and I named the chicken or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then I realized what was the real reason why he wasn't alive anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was partial to that chicken, and like that kind of pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not pissed me off. That kind of made me like a little bit sad or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because like he been through or been with me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? For a good chunk of this stuff over here. You know what I'm saying? I think before I even put this up, before I even put up the Enderpearl stasis chamber, and definitely before I put this up. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have the MV machines or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a hot little minute. It seemed like it wasn't, but it's been a hot little minute or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Since all that got put up. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just progress over here. You know what I'm saying? Got more gems and stuff like that. Switched out this for a still created whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that I did on the base. I just can't remember everything that I did. There's something I was doing recently, and I can't remember what it was. No, I made the solar panel. I made the solar panels, all those solar panels. So I'm already at the point where I have enough items to make it. You know what I'm saying? In bulk. So it wasn't too much of an issue. It took a little bit to grind it out or whatever, but it wasn't an issue or whatever. So the last thing I did was I'm trying to drain this because I haven't really used this. You know what I'm saying? Except to put flooring up for the base or whatever. So it's just it finally drained out all of it. All the contents is in here. That's 102K, which is almost a full vault, full multi-block vault. I'm break this vault down and put it down there, and attach the crafting terminal, and then basically dump all of those chests that I got into the vault. You know what I'm saying? I might slice this in half. I might just leave it right here to 3 and cut all the rest of this off. And keep it like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I can have like a little centralized storage system down here at this end of the base. You know what I'm saying? I keep forgetting. I keep thinking this is the end of the base, but it's actually not. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't flown down there in a long time. That's the concrete factory is down there. I haven't been down there in eons. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm still in the process of constructing this, and I'm still basically in the same place. I had to actually take these off and take some parts off of this to repurpose them for other projects or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know when I'm gonna be able to. Why did my thing disappear? It doesn't matter. I know what it looks like, but yeah, it's the first time it actually disappeared. Talk about my hologram, my blueprint schematic. It hasn't disappeared like that. It disappeared one other time, but it's whatever. I'm not gonna get to that in a minute anyway. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, I just leave it the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I already know how to build this. The only thing that really needs what's the name is the floor, a little floor design I got going on with the slabs. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Yeah, but I'm still on the mission to try to make this function. You know what I'm saying? Stably. You know what I'm saying? So that's done with that. You can load it up again, get the rest of these. By my calculations, I need 2 stacks. I need 2 stacks in order to make because it takes about 8 ingots to make one coil block. And the other thing about these ingots is that you can't take them out like this. There's no tongs or whatever that's in, because that's what I would think. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, would make the most sense to handle hot ingots in real life or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But there's no tongs actually in uh in this version of GregTech or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I do have rubber gloves and all that, but none of that actually works. You know what I'm saying? I know when I played GTNH back in the day, the first or second version of the pack, they had like tongs or something in there that you could carry high ingots for, and that's what I was looking for here, but it doesn't exist there. So if you pick up these ingots, those hot ingots, without tongs, you take damage, and you take a lot of damage really fast. You know what I'm saying? So the only way I can mitigate that is throwing them inside of these satchels that I have. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take a little bit of damage and throw it in the satchel. That's the only way I was even able to get it out of here and into a chemical bath. You have to put it in the chemical bath to cool it down. There's another way you can cool it down, but the chemical bath works. So, you know what I'm saying? I throw it in the chemical bath and cool it down, and that's how I get the ingots out of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I got this one, and I got 8 more over there. Only have 9 ingots of it. You know what I'm saying, so far. But yeah. In the process of learning that you actually get burned by those ingots or whatever, I did a little bit of research, and the version I'm playing is GTCEU. You know what I'm saying? It's Community Edition, unofficial modern. Um, that's the newest that's the most modern version of GT. You know what I'm saying? But come to find out, it's still in beta. You know what I'm saying? Which I never knew that. You know what I'm saying? I just assumed because I seen GT modern since forever. I just assumed that it was already at release. You know, it's in the release state, but it's not even feature complete. You know what I'm saying? Not the way that like GT5 is. You know what I'm saying? So that was interesting for me to learn. You know what I'm saying? And I already know for a fact GTNH is different on a lot of levels. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's just GTNH. I mean GT5. It's GT5 and a lot of custom multi blocks. You know what I'm saying? That I don't think is in base GT5. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know because I haven't been to the end game of GT yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's what all of this is really for. You know what I'm saying? This whole pack, whatever, is really so I could just get the experience of playing around with GT, like past the mid game. You know what I'm saying? And getting to the end game and all that. And that I'm eventually going to play a GT and H. Not immediately after I finish this. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I want to do. Uh, I wouldn't really stick with GT modern. I kind of like the old school. Like I learned GT and H. I mean, I learned GT on GT4, and that was before I played GT and H. You know what I'm saying? I learned GT4. You know what I'm saying? Like the very beginnings of the mod. You know what I'm saying? Um, the first time I think it was all the way up to like LV or the starter LV or something like that. And in a pack that was specifically designed to teach new players GT4, and that's where I got a love for GT because everybody kept saying it was a hard tech mod or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I started learning tech mods with IC2 and learned everything else after that. Everything else after that was easy. You know what I'm saying? I was already thoroughly vetted into mods or whatever. You know what I'm saying? By the time I got around to GT4, and I just liked it. I liked the progression. I liked everything about it. The only reason why I actually stopped is because I didn't know about the ore generation. You know what I'm saying? That's what actually got me to stop. You know what I'm saying? I found a few ores and all of that, but I couldn't find everything that I actually needed. I didn't know how to actually find it, and at that particular time, it wasn't it wasn't a lot of documentation. You know what I'm saying? That was the time when it wasn't a lot of documentation. You had to be on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Using your ingenuity. You know what I'm saying? And being persistent to actually research all these different mods or whatever and find out about how to actually use them and all that. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't find it with GT. So I just let it go. But I let it go, and it was something I was gonna come back to later on. Yeah. Besides that, whatever. I'm doing out here. You know what I'm saying? At first, thought I was, all these solar panels was gonna be make this whole what's name just look ugly or whatever. It is a lot going on. It is dense or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's not configured bad in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way to really stack them because the solar panels you can't cover the top. I was trying to come up with a good configuration on a way that I could actually stack them, but it's impossible. Once you have a solid block on top, you know what I'm saying? The pipe is a transparent block or whatever, but once you have a solid block on top, it's gonna block the sunlight or whatever. So there's no way to actually build any kind of pattern that's gonna have a small footprint. You know what I'm saying? The only other way is to like maybe start in the center of a chunk and then build outwards, keep going outwards like a flower, and just have it going up like a dandelion or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Sunflower. That's the only way to basically keep it. But even what's the name? You're gonna get to the end of the chunk, and that's gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? You have to build adjacent to that chunk or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that maybe what's the name? I could maybe think about doing something like that. You know what I'm saying? That'll be nice for power generation. You know what I'm saying? And it's a nice little decorative feature as well. You know what I'm saying? And it'll come out looking like an upside down technical pyramid or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Nice little aesthetic. A little look or whatever to the base and all that. But anyway, that's a future project, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I start mass producing these or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully these are like the old solar flux solar panels from back in the day, where you just throw it in the recipe to upgrade them to the next tier. You know what I'm saying? These are all solar panel ones, and they go up to like 5 or 6 or something like that, or solar panel 7 or something like that. No, they go to 8. By the time you get to 3, the power generation gets super ridiculous. Where's 2 at? I don't see 2. 2 is right here. Yeah, so these don't scale. They don't scale up. You have to just make new solar panels, which is that's basically a shame or whatever, because that's how the old version was or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You start with the first tier, and then you just throw it in the recipe. You keep scaling them up, scaling them up, scaling them up, so they don't become whatever you crafted don't become redundant. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing I could do with this is arc furnace it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And try to get some components back or whatever. But after that, it's basically useless. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,